All right, so blue-black tempo. So tempo, for those not familiar with the term, in general refers to a deck that is considered an aggro control deck. So aggro control is headlined by an archetype that has some aggressive threats. In this case, we've got some Cutthroats and some Brazen Borrowers here and some Rankles, but we also have a number of disruptive elements. So Brazen Borrower, Thassa's Intervention, Tyrant, Scorn, things like that. What differentiates tempo from mid-range? The line kind of blurs a little bit. Generally speaking, tempo decks tend to value resource efficiency more than card advantage tends to be the distinction. So for example, a card like Brazen Borrower that's bouncing something as opposed to 1-for-1 removal spells tends to signify tempo a little bit. So usually mid-range decks are looking to generate a little bit more 1-for-1s, whereas tempo decks are more interested in leveraging mana advantage to get ahead on board and win a game before card advantage really matters. So tempo decks tend to be worse off in games that drag on for longer. Hey, Jay Tauke, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Mid-range decks play ramp spells. They do not. I don't know that mid-range is necessarily headlined by card advantage. When I think of mid-range, I usually think of efficiency and 1-for-1s as opposed to strictly card advantage. I'm going to bottom the Rider here since I currently don't have any black mana. They're playing mono red because they have 50 children, so they need their games to be quickly. Perfect. It's the second black source. Tempo is something you can inject into a deck. Nobody's ever said it had some mid-range. Ain't that the truth? What sleeve are these? These are one of the F&M sleeves. Runaway. Runaway Steamkin, living up to its name here. Just casual, have only cast an opt. Opponent cast 1, 2, 3, 4 spells on turn 3. You know, no big. No big. I think I'm just destroying this. That's a decent draw. So now I can go... I was going to Gadwick, but now I can go Cutthroat plus Tyrant Scorn this turn. Although that makes that plan a lot worse. That's super unfortunate. Do I just Murderous Rider now? You think I just Murderous Rider now? So we're going to go down to 11, and then they'll pump up their things with Castle and put us to 5. That's kind of scary. It means they have another spell to play here. They have another Annex. Brutal. I don't know that we can really win this game. We're just dead, right? Like I go to 10, I block. Yeah, we're just dead. All right, let's get some Disfigures and some Aether Gusts in here. A couple of Shadowspears for some lifelink. Nessie's pretty slow. Rankle's pretty slow. Whirlwind Denial's pretty slow. Honestly, Thassa's Intervention is probably not good enough. Rest of this seems fine. Pretty clean, easy in, easy out. Mono red is very good. Should be cleaving people or bouncing people's things in this format, I think. I think I try this again. This was a viewer submission that I did some work to, but I'm not certain if this can be something that will really hold up in the format. I'm gonna do that and play this, and then we'll go tap land for swamp, borrow or something next turn. Croaky's, I haven't watched a ton of his content, but Croaky's strikes me as the type of player who wants to give hot takes to like rile people up and generate clicks. Like he frequently is one of those folks who like they put their current rank in their stream title as clickbait, right? Or put like best deck broke the format in their stream title, right? I don't think he's strictly a bad player or I wouldn't say he's a bad player by any means, but I think a lot of what he says is probably exaggerated for the purpose of generating clicks. Aether Gust this, I think. Maybe they don't have a land. He is very good at Magic. Well, probably above average at Magic. We'll see. It'll be one of the things that's actually really good about these Magic Fest things is that it'll give players like Croaky's a real chance to prove themselves, right? So, like, one of the takes that he gave out that I kind of disagree with is, like, he talked about how getting high on the ladder is just as hard or as proving as doing well consistently in large tournaments. And I disagree with that take. I think tournament play is a lot more difficult than ladder play on average. I think the mental state of being in a tournament and the rate at which it pairs you up with increasingly more difficult opponents in a tournament Yeah, the ladder has I mean, so it's tough, right? As someone who's played in a lot of paper tournaments, like there's a certain time feature about tournaments as well, right? So like, you know, Magic's got a lot of variance in it, and you're not guaranteed to do well at a given tournament. You have to show up to enough tournaments to do well, right? Yeah, that's what I agree that it's a self-validating take from him. He's someone who has a lot of vested interest in saying that the ladder is challenging because the ladder is where his results come from. So like, if the ladder is challenging, it validates him as a player and streamer. Sure. I think a big factor that comes with tournaments too is, you know, how many of us are playing Magic Arena while distracted? How many of us are playing Magic Arena and it's the only thing we're doing while we play, right? Whereas like, even when I'm not streaming, my level of play while playing Magic Arena tends to be lower than my level of play while in a paper tournament, because I'm solely focused on Magic at my tournament. And I'm just not when I play Arena, right? Like even when I'm playing off stream, I have a stream up. I don't think strictly having an entry fee makes things more or less competitive. I think that's kind of borderline FUD. That's something that I disagree with at a minimum. Like I don't think players who play Magic Online leagues are inherently more or less competitive than people playing Magic Arena just because they paid $10 to play that league. I think the distraction argument has a lot of merit to it, where you're gonna find opponents easier digitally because of their split focus a lot of the time. Like Magic's a game that has a lot going on when it has your full attention. The entry fee doesn't put pressure on me in a fighting game bracket. It's the elimination factor. That's a good comparison. They're called competitive leagues. We actually don't have that distinction anymore. Thank you very much. Well, you only know that they're angrier on Moto because, this card might actually be super playable right now, by the way. I was looking at this card and, like, this card has a lot of text even in the red matchup, huh? Are there any matchups in this format that are popular where this card just doesn't have a text box? I don't know. One of the things that's like good and bad about Magic at the same time too is that like when you play a game that has as much variance as Magic does, you can always like, there's no objectivity about it, right? Like you can always say player X or deck X isn't actually good because they just got lucky, etc., right? That's why one of the key things is looking at longevity and what players do over a large range of things, right? So, for example, you shouldn't just look at a player who top 8's one tournament. You should look at, okay, they played 14 tournaments. How many tournaments did they top 8 in 14? That's a much better measure of what's reasonable and what's not. we're just super dead. Just a good example of Brazen Borrower just being real bad in the red matchup. Just not being able to block is huge. More mono red. Alright, I guess we do this, and then we, like, play this and start Tyrant Scorning to power up here. So, I'm not going to block with this turn, but we will flash it in before this trigger so they don't get to draw a card off our deck. Yeah, person appropriately representing the mono red tribe here. Hey, Frenzied Mage, thanks for 27 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Let's kill this in response. Wouldn't be surprised to see this die before it gets to blocks. We take another 3 here, down to 13. Oh gosh, and they get to draw a card. I think I'm keeping that because I have Lochmere in my hand. Kill this before they get to use my Cling. We're taking 5 this turn, down to 8. We're drawing an untapped land next turn, guaranteed. So we do get to play Murderous Rider plus a 2-drop. So maybe that can allow us to stabilize on the back of this this Murderous Rider. Light them up. They're on fire. Do 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 do. Gosh, I miss the days of dying to Experimental Frenzy, chat. Dying to Cleave just doesn't feel the same. So we get to bounce this. We're taking 2 this turn, basically. You get to eat this at least. They have Rimrock Knight as their last card. Might be a quick standard set today. I mean, we're technically not dead on board, right? Because I'm gonna take 3 from this. No, I am dead because this first strikes me before lifelink happens. Alright. I guess I'm trying the same. I'm going to trim a Borrower and leave a Thassa's Intervention in. Borrower's pretty medium here. And go 2/2, actually. How many creatures does this leave me? 13. That's probably not enough threats. 15's probably the floor. Okay, yep. In. Bottom the Schwamp. So we can keep triple blue for Gadwick. Hey, K9. Thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate it. Hope you're staying safe out there. Get Witch Figure. They're 2/2 with haste here. If they don't have Robin Hood, also accept Witch Figuring that one. Hopefully they annex here and we get to Tails End it. Feels bad, man. Let's take this out back and drown in the Loch since they added a second card to their bin. I'm gonna go ahead and just draw one here, I think. That's perfect. Let's just go Rider plus Tails End next turn. Mappist! Thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday wherever you're out in the world. Yep. Crunch. All right. Well. I think I just play this out. Stabilize the board okay. I still have a lot of cards left in their hand though, which is scary. Well, the tapper couldn't really tap differently. Like, I guess we could leave Island up instead of the Mobilized District, but that doesn't let us cast any other spells. I don't have triple black mana. I'm gonna go ahead. Well, I was going to trade here. I don't know. Maybe this works out, because then I have removal spells up next turn. Probably not. Definitely should have traded. I guess this keeps Fervent Champion at home, which is reasonable. Hopefully they have, like, Embercleave, and they plan to ship and then Embercleave, and then Tails End gets them. Tails End gets that one. Good night. Yeah, I agree. These are definitely my favorite basics on the platform. Not close. Okay, so we stay at 9 here, and their board is just a 1/1. Thanks, Sean. I'm trying. There's more kids at home now. Sometimes I am human, and sometimes I try. I fail, but I am trying my best. Dad Confidant, thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. Happy Sunday. Three mana light up the stage. You love to see it. Well, I guess the good news is that light up the stage is they're not casting both of those. The Stern, and whichever one they do cast, I can Thassa's Intervention. Yeah, Twitch, the anniversary does not line up exactly to the day when you send money. This is very silly. Super unintuitive. Hey, Doldy. Thank you for the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Washington, welcome back. Their Jace is dead because I have emotes off. Ha! Got him. Sure. I don't really have anything that I love in the format at the moment, Mana Symbol. There's a Sultai control deck up on my website that's okay. We played a blue-black control deck on stream recently that felt alright.
You need more control. Just let me burn.
Just let me burn. Burn, baby, burn. Chandra Inferno. Do, 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 do. Beep, beep, do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Well, you know. Oh, I'm so dumb. Obviously, you should have made them equip the cleave first. When your deck's really underpowered, you can't make any mistakes or you lose. That's fine. We would have lost on the draw anyways. I'm gonna bottom that. I already have 3 lands. And cast most of our spells. Yay! Not a basic mountain. We did it, chat. We did it! That's not the last day of the season. No, there's still 2 more days. 3 more days? For my understanding is, like, blue-green, Racksack, and Cleave decks are, like, the three types of thing in the format right now. It looked like, based on what Channel Fireball had been tweeting out, that Rakdos Sacrifice had a good day yesterday in day 1 of the Channel Fireball thing. Hey, Gadsbean, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. So, one of the things that's important to understand about MTGO 5.0s, and a lot of people don't know this if they're newer to Magic, is that MTGO 5.0 data is kept artificially diversified. So, if 6 people all 5.0 with the same archetype, only one of their lists gets published. Hey, Stinkins, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. I think it's like a 20... I think it's 20 cards, I believe. It's not strange at all. Wizards does it to hide information about their formats. It's harder to say objectively there's a problem if players don't have access to data to talk about it. I'm honestly surprised Channel Fireball is allowed to publish deck lists from all their events they're having. Wizards has been very minimal about giving us data out of anything related to Arena. Like, the small amounts of MTGO data we've had, historically speaking, is much greater than anything we've gotten out of Arena so far to date. I think I'm just going to let this happen and play another Brazen Borrower. They have a 3/2 regardless. Feel free to draw some more cards. I don't know, Allure. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it was a... I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's a manual system. Do you have a Doomblade? Wouldn't be surprised to get, like, Scorn or Assassin's Trophy here. Really? Okay. Well, they're probably just dead then, right? Because I have this Drown in the Loch. Yeah, apparently putting a message inside of Greater than, less than causes the Streamlabs plugin to weird out. It's probably some kind of fault in how it reads the information from the API or how the API spits out the data. It's a little aggressive because it's banking on them not having an untapped land that doesn't hurt them. Or another one of those. Without a counterspell left, I think I just Gadwick here. I don't think I'm playing around something like Ritual Assault out of the Nissa deck. Yes, that is with leagues. There's a lot less information in preliminaries. And they only publish the top 32 from Premier tournaments. Those are both smaller data sets on average. So, dead on board at the moment. Alright, so I think Narset comes in against Uro. Aether Gust definitely comes in. Remorse is probably fine. Cling to Dust seems great. Blacklance Paragon seems less than stellar against a more mid-rangey deck. Tyrant Scorn seems kind of whatever here. Tail's End seems fine. Yeah, Drown seems medium on average too. I agree. Because they're escaping a trim a couple of Scorns. My flying threats seem good. What do I want to trim? It could just be a couple of ops here. They're mostly filler. It's probably fine. Let's give this a try. Yeah, I think Tail's End's actually a super reasonable card right now. Even mono red has like 12 legendaries in it. I think it's like super serviceable as a cheeky one of. And like you can occasionally Stone Rain people's Fabled Passages with it, which is great. Okay, encountered a activated ability. I am part of Twitch chat. If you're into that whole, you know, destroying lands thing. Womp womp. Just gonna cantrip this. In. Yeah, this unfortunately doesn't cantrip. I know that's what you wanted, Twitch chat. I know that's what you wanted. I almost asked if it was what you wanted, but in my heart of hearts, I already knew the answer. Whirlwind Denial also counters Fabled Passage, by the way. Just in case anybody's keeping track, this also does it. Or the super secret Stone Rain deck. I'm just looking for a threat or some card advantage here. Perfect. Have 7 cards in my bin, so I can cling to Dust here next turn too. Draw a card. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, we saw these last game, right? Off their Atreses. Just gonna go ahead and cantrip my Cling to Dust here. Relying on is not a big deal because we have the Murderous Rider in hand. Don't mind me, just nibbling at your graveyard. Oh, I exiled a creature. I totally did. Hey, Rad, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub. I appreciate that. Yikes. So, like, the way this deck is playing out this game, honestly, the last game too, I kind of feel like this is probably just a bad version of the blue-black control deck we had played. Like, I feel like the reason why we're winning this game is because we have control elements in our deck. Yeah, we're kind of a blue-black control deck that's turning on their removal. I think is a pretty reasonable assessment of what this deck is doing. And I don't really know that I'm in love with that. Draw 2 here. Perfect. I'm just gonna go ahead and kill this. Wow, super punished. Make sure we exile a non-creature this time through, huh? Simpler time, Marty. Simpler time.
Present and future. You cannot see yourself with thoughtfulness before action.
Let's put card 5 in the bin. Need to put one more in there to escape Uro. Yep. So this 2-for-1's us. We get to Aether Gust it, but yeah, never mind. JK, LOL. Do I just do this this turn? Pretty sure we just do that this turn. We've not, Percy. Okay, so I get to kill this. I get to Aether Gust this. I get to Brazen Borrower this. Hey, look at that, chat. That 3 life came in handy. Carefully calculated. All a part of the plan. I think I'd rather they have Fae than Nissa. I think. Like, what does Fae get that's scarier than Nissa, huh? Let's find out. Yeah, it could just be getting another Nissa. Blue, black, or Sultai Control and Historic, whatever you think is better. Sounds good, Percy. Thanks for the support. Get that added after the stream today. Honestly, I kind of want to try straight blue-black. I think both could be reasonable, but I find the having good mana super appealing. Wow, just another Eat to Extinction. Okay, so what if... Oh, Maelstrom Pulse is tempting. That's true. It could just be blue-black with Pulse and Uro. Blue-black with Pulse Uro is probably pretty reasonable. So what if I do this? And then we attack. Well, we're currently playing Standard Time Lord. We're discussing the possibility of a historic build around, though. I think I'm going to have each player discard a card here. And then... Wait, did it take my full control off? Are you kidding me? Did I click my full control off? I thought I had full control on there. God, that's so frustrating. This should be in play. No, I just toggled it back on when it wasn't letting me respond to my own trigger. Yeah, I must have forgotten to press shift. That's super frustrating. Oh, yeah, I needed to play it out before I chose to discard, right? Is what happened. Is that Oracle 4? Yeah, probably. So, if this attacks, we fire up Mobilized District, we block before damage happens, we Brazen Borrower, we send 6 at Nissa, and then we can cling to dust to not die to this in combat. Yeah, we're dead. I think I'm gonna be done with this deck. We played 2.5 matches. I guarantee 2 at a minimum. It's just not very good. I think the only thing, let me rephrase. The parts of this deck that are good are the parts that are the blue-black control deck we played prior. And I feel like adding a bunch of threats that just like turn on my opponent's removal spells game 1 really wasn't good. So I feel like rather than playing the tempo style shell like we just did, something closer to this is probably more reasonable. One takeaway from playing that deck was Tail's End seems pretty reasonable in the format in general. I wouldn't mind shoehorning at least one copy into here as kind of a flexible counter catch-all type thing. Could be okay, but in general, I felt like what this was doing, the good parts of it were just like the good parts of this. Although notably there weren't any Murderous Riders in this deck. That might be a miss. Rider's pretty good. If you want thoughts on the blue-black control deck, I'd encourage you to go watch the blue-black control video on my YouTube channel. It's up there and there's feedback and stuff on it. present Jeff has played a lot of matches between when past Jeff played that and now, so for specific feedback, you should always go back and listen to what I had to say then as opposed to hoping I remember and regurgitate it now. Dvarg, thank you for the 5 months. Welcome back. All right, we are going to roll on into some Historic here, which has been my baby of a format lately. Really been enjoying this one. So when we get back, we are going to play some Grixis aggro here to kick things off. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.